The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
The 2024 New York Yankees are going back to the World Series for the first time since 2009, and the 1420 Sports Bar podcast wants to celebrate all week long. We are going to take a look back on this season, go into the vault on great Yankee teams and moments from the past, and get ready for the World Series. Join host Brent Redlinski and a variety of guests as they reminisce about the American League champions and prognosticate on the Yankees' chance to bring their 228th World Championship back to bronze. This Yankee Hype Week at the 1420 Sports Bar podcast, brought to you by SeatGeek. So sit back, grab a few beers, and let's get into it. All right, Game 2, Pre-Gamers 1420 Sports Bar podcast, 4 beer sports talk, and a whole lot more. It all gets going again in about just under an hour from now. Game 2, Chavez Ravine. Yankees-Dodgers classic game last night, the way that one turned out. Heck of a game. I ranted and raved this morning, so nothing but positive from here on in with the way that game turned out. Great game for your baseball fan. Great game for your Dodger fan. Great game until the 10th inning for the Yankee fans, but all in all, it was fantastic. Outcome wasn't what the Yankee fans wanted, but like I said, all in all, it was a fantastic game. Hopefully we have half a game that's nearly as good as the one last night. A lot of positives can be said about last night's game. Giancarlo Stanton once again came through with a skyscraper of a home run, as Joe Davis called it in the play-by-play. Speaking of Joe Davis, I'm not going to be playing your broadcast today. I know you don't care. John and Susan, I'm going to cue that up, make sure I have it all lined up in the lines for when the game starts. John and Susan are on the air with me. So I don't know how many more games you got of John Sterling, all-time great Yankee broadcaster, and just won't be the same without him around next year. And then before the game started last night, when he was watching, they were talking about Vince Scully, of course, Dodger broadcast legend, how he would have been great to have him around last night for the call of that game, because he goes back to Brooklyn days, obviously, and David Ortiz said he went and introduced himself to him. So did renowned baseball geek Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter. Always like everybody loves themselves some Vin. So it's good to have that Vin even after his passing, still getting the love and due respect that he deserves. Anyways, the Yankees are down 1-0, as we know. But the good thing about that game last night, if you can take any solace in a loss, is that the Yankees they gave that game away. The only stuff that the Dodgers got, and I know that's how baseball works, but the only stuff that the Dodgers end up getting were because of the errors that they made, the dumb pitching change, and then the couple of dumb pitching changes, and the way that turned out. So the Yankees only basically they gifted the Dodgers that win last night. So the Yankees can take some solace in that they they were in that game if they play as well as they did last night, but a little bit better without the managerial mistakes and without the mental errors. Why Torres didn't just jump in front of that ball, let it hit instead of trying to backhand it, which led to the sacrifice fly in the 8th, I think it was. It's a different ball game, just a little simple error by Torres, who's been really good, obviously, in the playoffs. But it was a great game. Just cut down on a couple few mistakes, and the Yankees should be fine tonight. I'm not the biggest Rodon fan. For those who listen to the show or watch on YouTube, thank you very much. I'm not the biggest Rodon fan that going, but he's been very good his last couple of outings, so I do hope he can keep that going against his potent Dodger offense. Obviously, he got stymied last night with Cole, and Cole should have kept going. We're not going to focus on the negative. We're going to reach out into the positive of what's going on. Rodon's got to be strong. He's got to come out hot and heavy like he did against Kansas City a couple series ago, but then keep the emotions down a little bit. If you have a good inning, just have another good one. Have another good one. Put the poker face on and just be fine. Don't get too hyped up, because you're going into a very ruckus Dodger Stadium crowd that was fantastic last night. They were on their feet right from the get-go. A little ceremony for Fernando Valenzuela, who we gave the tip of the cap to last night. Obviously, it was kind of funny with the way the mounds are done now. And Roger or Earl Hershiser was going out there to put the ball on the mound. He couldn't get it to hold, because the mounds are so hard now compared to what they were back in 1988 when Earl Hershiser was towing the slab out there at Chavez Ravine. It was really interesting to see that. But then they got it all done. So it was a great ceremony for Fernando Valenzuela and his family last night. But let's get to tonight's game. It should be another beauty. Yamamoto, Dodgers went out and scooped him out of nowhere last year. I shouldn't say out of nowhere. Once Ohtani signed, you had to think that Yamamoto wouldn't be far behind the way it all turned out. He wasn't great this year, but he wasn't bad. He wasn't everything that they hoped to be, but he's gotten better as the playoffs have progressed. He had one start early, I think it was in June against the Yankees. The Yankees kind of had their C lineup out there, so you can't put much stock into that. Into that start for Yamamoto against the Yankees that night at Yankee Stadium. But this start is very big for Rodon, very big for the Yankees. And I expect Rodon to hopefully have a A.J. Burnett circa 2009 kind of a start, because you remember back in 2009, the Yankees actually lost that first game to the Philadelphia Phillies. A.J. Burnett came out the next night. And Burnett was such a smooth pitcher. Like I remember when he was obviously with Pittsburgh, and then he was with the Jays for a long time. So I got to watch him a lot when he was pitching for Toronto. He had such a smooth delivery, and he threw so hard. He's just a little bit different between the years. But I expect Rodon to go out tonight and have a great start. And if he can keep the Yankee or the Dodgers off the base pass and keep that big three in check a little bit, keep the ball in the ballpark. That's the biggest thing with those guys, with Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman, 3 Hall of Fame guys right in a row. It's going to be pretty tough. But if you could just keep them in check throughout the night, I think the Yankees will be okay. Last night's game was really interesting. And also, it was kind of a 80s, 90s throwback that we the starters went 6 and 7 innings respectively, which you never see anymore where 2 guys going, but they were both dealing. And then you had we had a bunt, which you never seen. It was a perfect bunt by Kike Hernandez, I think it was. It just laid it right down in front, and there was nothing could happen. It was a very good thing for the Yankees to get that bunt, to get their relief pitcher kind of just settled in a little bit, and kind of worked out well. But we saw a bunt, we saw some stolen bases last night, which you don't see very often. Jazz Chisholm Jr. was running amok last night for a little bit there, and he caused some damage in the 10th inning, and they had the Yankees took the lead and ended up losing the game. But and then you had Anthony Volpe with a stolen base. I think it was the 8th inning as well. So I expect the Yankees to run a little bit again tonight, get things going again tonight, cause a little bit of havoc on the base pass, and keep things going, because their offense obviously wasn't great again. We have I'm not going to dwell on the Judge thing. If you want to hear my thoughts on Aaron Judge, tune in after you're done here to my show this morning, 14:20 in the morning. I felt like I had to get on and flap my gums a little bit about Aaron Judge, but we're going to stay positive. It's game 2. The Yankees in the World Series. We said with the guys from No Credentials required the other night that the Yankees were to be successful, they have to win 1 out of 2 in this series at Chavez Ravine at Dodger Stadium. And so tonight they kind of have to get it done. They let one slip away last night. They didn't play great, and they lost an extra inning. So like I said earlier, we can take some solace in this, that the Yankees had a way to win that ball game last night, and they're going to find a way to get it done tonight. I think Rodon's going to be good. This game could get interesting because the off day tomorrow for both teams. And the bullpens were used a little bit last night, even though it went to extras, not a whole bunch. But you might see a little bit extra innings. You might see Dave Roberts and Aaron Boone, the manager for the 2 teams, go to the bullpen a little bit earlier if something happens in the 2nd or 3rd inning, and say, you know what, we got an off day on Sunday. Don't play until 6 o'clock East. If you have 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern on Monday night. So you might see the teams kind of just, go to the bullpens a little bit early and see what they can do, and say, okay, you know what, we can't let this one get away, especially Boone. Boone has to manage himself a perfect game tonight, not just for his team, but for the court of public opinion, I guess. He has to manage a perfect game, has to use his head more than the handbook, because last night was a handbook. It had to have been a handbook thing, because there was no way he would have pulled it with any brains in his head, would have pulled Garrett Cole when he did after 88 pitches. And his response was post game was a little bit awkward too. But I expect Boone to be a lot better tonight. I expect he has to, just for his team to kind of get behind him a little bit. But if Rodon gets in trouble early, what do you do? I mean, you're not going to Nestor Cortez. I think we've seen the last of Nasty Nestor in this playoff. You just wonder where it's all going to end up. But they have some guys in the bullpen. They have Tim Hill that they should have put in last night. They got him sitting there because he's been great so far in these playoffs. So they have a little bit of a chance to do something tonight. They're going to run the base a little bit. They're going to get a lot done. I think the Yankees are going to win this game tonight. We'll get to predictions later on by Righteous Felon, but we'll just look at the Yankees lineup tonight, what they got going on. Same lineup as last night. Nothing's changed at all. I thought there was going to be some changes for sure. I thought they were going to move Judge around somewhere in the lineup, maybe hit him second and get a little bit of protection behind Soto. But the Torres leading off, he's been great. He had that error last night, so he's going to try to get some revenge for himself and for Yankee fans. He's been great throughout these playoffs. Torres leading off, hitting first, playing second base, going to make up for that error as well. Juan Soto, tough night in the field a little bit last night. That double in the should have been a double in the sixth. He went for it, and he should have played it for a double and just left it and ended up being a triple. You got Juan Soto, obviously been having a great playoff. He's writing his own legacy bank check. Aaron Judge, it's been well documented, hasn't been great, hitting third for the Yankees. Look for him to maybe bounce back, put some balls in play, and see if he can't get something going. Giancarlo Stanton's a bit of an epiphany. Hit another home run last night, his fourth game in a row, I believe. He's been really, really good, but I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more. I know I'm getting greedy. I know I'm getting a little bit Yankee-ish, but Yankee fanish, but I wouldn't mind seeing him chip in a single now and then. Like, he's only 5 for 22 in these playoffs, and I have always hated the strikeouts from Stanton and Judge and the rest of them. I've always hated that. So a bit of a base hit now and then, and then chip in the home run wouldn't be the worst thing from Giancarlo Stanton. I'm hoping that can come about as well. And then hitting fifth, the guy who played a lot better last night, Jazz Chisholm Jr., stole 3 bases, had an opportunity to play some good defense over there at third as well. I think he's going to be a force throughout these playoffs. He looks like to be a big moment guy, and he's going to have a chance to do something tonight. Now he was my wild card, my wild card for last series to do something. So hopefully he's just a series late. He started off the World Series last night with a great effort over there at third base. Rizzo, Mr. Reliable over there at first base. I wouldn't mind seeing him get a couple of hits here and there, but his hand is still ailing a little bit. Rizzo's is what he is. Volpe was good, stolen base last night, good at shortstop. Then Austin Wells is just non-existent at the plate. They'll find a way to DH for him somehow if they could break the rules. But Wells has been done nothing. It's absolutely nothing. But so you have to get more at the top of your order because the bottom of your order has been so bad. And Verdugo, not only he made that great catch in the extra innings last night, but then also with he had a great diving catch earlier in the game too. So Verdugo's defense has been really good and chipped in a hit, I believe, again to last night. So he's been good. And then, like I said earlier on, starting pitchers got Carlos Rodon for the Yankees tonight. Good to pan out for the Yankees. This is what got them there. This is what it is. So you just got to stick with it. Maybe chip in a guy here or there, but I don't think you're going to see many guys moving in this lineup. I don't think you're going to see guys moving top to bottom of order. It's just not going to happen. This is what it is, and you can't really change a whole bunch. But I expect the Yankees to have a much cleaner game tonight. Maybe the nerves over the first World Series for a lot of these guys is behind them. Maybe it's just a chance that they can, you know what, we can play with the big dogs in their own park, and let's get this thing done. Are they going to get the pitching performance that they need out of Rodon tonight? Like, is it going to be the AJ Burnett performance? Is it going to be the Mike Mussina performance? Is it going to be from the old guys of Yankees past who found a way to dig deep and get it done? Is it going to be an Andy Pettitte performance? Always found a way to stop the bleeding when the things weren't going so well. This is a World Series right now. The Yankees, they don't want to fall behind 2-0 going home. Yes, you do have 3 at home. It's a reverse of the Atlanta series in 96, where they ended up winning 3 in Atlanta, and then because they lost the first 2 at home, remember, in 96, and then they went to Atlanta, won the next 3, and then won it in Game 6 at Yankee Stadium. Actually, it was 28 years ago today. We're all getting a little bit old. That's 28 years ago when that happened. Crazy to think that the Yankees, their little dynasty, not little dynasty, their dynasty started back on this day in 1996, and we're into Game 2 of the World Series. So 5 more to go. Hopefully, well, 5 after tonight. Hopefully, the Yankees can pull this one off. A little word from our sponsors over there, Righteous Felon, and then we will get into our predictions for tonight's Game 2.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, You will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
Thank you to Righteous Felon Jerky, a longtime sponsor of Belly Up Sports and the 1420 podcast. Use promo code BELLYUP over there at Righteous Felon. Get yourself 15% off. The greatest jerky in the land. Trust me, it's real good stuff. Anyways, it's once again, prediction time. I haven't been fared so well, so I'm just going to go right from I'm not going to use my head this time. I'm going to go right from the heart. I really want the Yankees to win this one. I really do. Not only because I'm a Yankee fan, just for the simple fact is I want a long World Series. I don't want baseball to end. We're only a week away. If it goes 7, it's a week from right now, where we're talking about Game 7 at Chavez Ravine. So it'll be all over but the crying one way or another. But I really want the Yankees to pull this one off tonight. They should have won last night. Didn't. I expect the Yankees to be better. I expect Judge to do. Maybe Judge might listen to my podcast earlier on today. Probably didn't, but maybe listen to my podcast earlier today. I was a little bit hard on him, but I think it's deserved. A little bit of tough love for Judgy. A little bit of tough love for number 99. And I expect Rodon to come out pitching pretty well. I really expect Gleyber Torres to have a game tonight to kind of clean up his little mess from last night. Stanton to continue a little bit more. And then I expect Jazz Chisholm Jr. to be the game MVP. I expect him to get on base a few more times and just run wild. He was stealing bases at will last night. And I think that's going to be the difference in tonight's baseball game. A little bit of small ball from the Yankees, considering they haven't been hitting the ball all that well. A little bit of base stealing, a little bit of 1990s baseball coming at you. I got the New York Yankees winning tonight's game, score of 5-1. Rodon goes 6. Chisholm Jr. scores 2 runs. Judge gets 1. Finally, Stanton gets 1. I think the math adds up. And then Stanton also is going to chip in a base hit. Doesn't happen very often. Look for some bunts, look for some base hits, look for some stealing, look for the Yankees to win, look for Judge to kind of clean up his mess from last night. Boone's got to be smarter. Boone's got to be better. Yankees win 5-1, 6-1. Tie it up, going back to Bronx for Monday night. Have a good night, folks. Enjoy the game. Don't listen to those yahoos on Fox. Tune in to John and Susan because they're the greatest. They're fantastic. Schmaltz is an idiot. Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar podcast, pre-gamers for the World Series. We'll enjoy the game, folks. Remember, it doesn't matter where you are. It's who you're with. Smart people bunt. And let's go Yankees. Have a good night, folks. We will talk to you in the morning.
You just listened to the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. 4 beer with sports talking a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Let's get into it.